Show me food and sights and sounds. I wanna know what you find. I want colors, colors, please show me. Life ain't black and white. Let me see you on the other side of the line. Show me colors, ooh.
We are ever strong!
That was so cool.
Hi, everybody. I see people coming into the room. I'm Kellyanne. I'll be behind the scenes for this. And I just wanted to say before we start that if you want to talk and you want to be heard and you want to be seen in the live stream that's going to air tomorrow, we need you to fill out a little waiver. And John is going to be dropping that in the chat throughout this event. And if you have a question during the event, please just ask your question in the chat and we'll get to you. And now I am going to turn this over to Dr. Carlos.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos Paredes. I'm one of the pediatric residents at Amherst Hospital. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you, Kelly, for inviting us. Welcome to Your Best Shot. So our goal today is basically talk about how the pandemic affected you guys' lives, your family, your community, how it's changed your plans for the future, how it hasn't. Today we are joined by other residents beside myself. Dr. Janet Siegel, who is the director of the Adolescent Clinic at Amherst Hospital. We're super excited to be here. And joining us today as well is Mr. Camrose Johnson. We're super excited to have you here from the CW's Batwoman. So yeah, let's hear from our special guest, Mr. Camrose. Hello.
Go.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing, everybody? What's up?
Hi, nice to meet you, Mr. Camrose. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Absolutely, man. Thanks
We're super excited to have you here. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. I'm a huge fan of Batman, so I'm excited to see you become Batwing.
Hey, thank you.
That's amazing. It's super exciting. I know you're super busy, so let's get straight into it. I know we all, you know, the pandemic was crazy. It was hard for everyone. We all had different experiences. We just want to hear from you. Could you share a little bit on how the pandemic sort of affected you, impacted your work, you know, your community, your life? How was that like? We'd be interested to hear about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like the pandemic affected my life. I mean, all of our lives in every single way imaginable. I mean, it changed everything. I was actually going back to Vancouver to continue shooting season 2 of Batwoman. And when I was on the plane, I got the call that the show shut down because of COVID. So I was in Vancouver for the first 10 weeks of COVID and alone in my apartment, you know, just me and my thoughts, becoming best friends. And, you know, it was interesting adapting to the new world, like having to go to the grocery store and, like, you know, keep everything in the hallway for a couple of days just in case COVID was on the bags, wiping everything down every chance that I got. And it was wild. But what was interesting is, you know, at first there was like this, it felt like everyone felt the need to create art in the arts community. And it was weird because although I'm always a fan of creating art if you can, it almost felt forced, and I didn't want to feel like I had to create art. Like I also wanted a moment to be sad. I wanted a moment to absorb what was going on around me and learn about what was going on and listen. And thankfully, eventually, I could turn all of that sadness into art. I could make something out of it, but it wasn't because I felt the need to. I'm sorry, it's not because I wanted to, it's because I felt the need to. So I don't know, like the COVID was interesting. It was an interesting past year where I just had to learn how to live in this new world and be okay with it in a way. And then going back to work on season 2 of Batwoman, everything was different. You know, I couldn't hug my friends. I had to stay safe from everyone. I had to keep a mask on almost at all times. But thankfully we made the best of it.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I guess we sort of everyone can relate to that. I mean, we're all in different contexts. We're doctors, actors, artists, in the sense that we couldn't hug anyone else. It's so different right now. But hey, a couple days ago, New York officially reopened, so that's
Right.
exciting. That's
Very
amazing.
exciting.
And it's all basically thanks because the vaccination rates have been so good. We know you recently got vaccinated. Could you tell us about what was that like? Which one did you get? How did you feel? Did you feel relief, excitement?
It was like the biggest relief ever. Like, oh my gosh, man, the past year and a half has been, it feels like it's been going on forever. It's been so much stress and so much weight, and every second has felt like a year. So as soon as I got, and I've only gotten the first shot because I have a little bit of a cold right now, so I have to wait till my cold goes away to get my second shot because
Right.
the cold could potentially get worse if I get my second shot. So I'm just gonna wait a couple more days. But I got that first shot, and I was just like, I had like I took the biggest breath. I was just like, wow, finally, like, finally, I'm getting close to what normal life used to be. I'm not nearly as worried or nervous about being around my friends and my family again. And I'm actually the last person in my family to get vaccinated because I was up in Vancouver shooting and I couldn't get it up there because I'm not a Canadian resident. So when I came back to the States for my vacation in between seasons, both my parents and both my brothers were like, "Oh yeah, we already got it. We're vaccinated. We've been vaccinated." So just like the feeling of being this close to being fully vaccinated is like, I've never wanted anything so badly before. I love it. It feels great. And I just feel like it feels like the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm glad you were able to get vaccinated, even if like you were the last in your family. But hey, as long as we all get vaccinated at some point, right? Is there anything in a specific that sort of motivated you to get your shot and just get it done?
Well, I feel like, a lot of people were worried because, oh my gosh, this pandemic came out of nowhere and there's already vaccines. Like, how can that be possible? Can it be safe? All that stuff. But there are geniuses in the world. There are scientists in the world. There are doctors in the world that are to be trusted, that are much smarter than me. And if they made this vaccine to save people and to help people, like, who am I to say I'm smarter than you and I don't want to take it? Like, this vaccine is helping people. It's saving people's lives quite literally. And also, I lost my granny last year to COVID-19.
I'm so sorry.
I appreciate it. And to think, like, it just got me so angry of, because she hasn't been to the hospital in like 50 years. So the one time she went to the hospital was not because she had COVID, she had something else, and she got COVID in the hospital. And it just made me think, like, of how reckless some people have been in the past year, like how careless you can be. If some people don't know anyone that got COVID, they don't know anyone that's died of it, they don't know anyone that's gotten severely sick of it, so they don't take it seriously. Where I have lost my grandma to COVID-19.
Right.
So the reason I wanted to get vaccinated is because everyone, in order to save everyone's grandparents, in order to save everyone's cousins and brothers and sisters and parents and children, I need to be vaccinated. I cannot be part of the problem, especially after I saw what the problem can do to my family. So yeah, there's many reasons why I wanted to get vaccinated, but that's just one of the million.
That's a great reason. I mean, what better reason than to keep everyone else around you safe and just
Right.
your community safe. And the real long-term effect of getting vaccinated is really getting that good herd immunity of everyone being immune
Yeah.
to COVID and just sort of slowly getting back to normal, right?
Right. Because that's the thing. It's like anything else. It's like any other wild disease, like the flu. At one point, the flu started. The flu wasn't always around. One day, it became a thing, and people were dying of it. People didn't know what it was. And they had to find a way to fix it. They had to find a way to save people, and they started getting people shots. This is no different. Like this is another disease that we didn't understand. And when it came, it started hurting a lot of people, killing a lot of people, hurting families. And we had, thankfully, a lot of smart people able to find a way to fix it. So in order to not let it become worse than it already is, let's trust them, get vaccinated, and freaking get the world back to what it was.
Right. Thank you so much, Camrys, for that. I'm so happy you're well. And I guess we can turn it over to our attendees in case you guys have any questions for Mr. Camrys here. Kellyanne, how are we doing this?
Hi. Yeah, someone is asking, when did you get your shot?
When did I get my shot? I got my shot. Today is Friday? No, today's Thursday. So I got my shot 3 Fridays ago, maybe 4 Fridays ago. So I think the day that I was able to get my second shot was this past Friday, but the CVS near me had too many appointments, and then I got the small cold, as you can probably hear in my voice. So I could have gotten it last Friday, but I'm waiting to get well again so that I can feel safe to get my second one.
Okay. And that's another question. Someone was asking, did you have any side effects? And they're also interested in which shot did you get?
Oh, I'm Team Pfizer, baby. Team Pfizer. Hey, I didn't have any side effects. I mean, everyone says the first one is really just the soreness of the arm. And I can't really tell if my arm was sore because I got the shot or if it was because I was swimming in a pool with my family very aggressively. So me, my brother, my dad had a lot of races in this pool and I lost them all, but I worked really hard. Actually, no, I won one, but I lost all the other ones. So I was flating pretty hard. So my arm was hurting a lot, but I think it was because I went a little hard.
Yeah, I actually saw the video and it looked like, it was actually not bad.
Yeah, it was bad. The shot did take a while though, but it was fine.
And someone else is asking, were your friends supportive, family, or did you talk to anyone about it?
Oh yeah, I mean, all my friends, all my fellow actor TV friends that are in Vancouver, we've all been waiting to get our shots when we got back to the States, because none of us obviously are Canadian locals or citizens of Canada. So we were all like jealous of each other. Like whoever got the shot first was like, dang it, I'm so jealous. Like I'm still shooting. So as soon as I got back, all my friends that are still shooting in Canada were like, we want it so bad. Like all my friends on the set of Yellow Jackets, which is going to be a Showtime show, and Supergirl, and like all the other CW shows, they were all like, man, like we can't wait to go get our shots as well. They were all very supportive. And actually my friend Nick was the one that said you should post about it so that your friends and fans can, if they're on the fence, hopefully when they see you do it, they'll also want to get the shot too.
Okay. Yes, there are lots of questions out here.
Go on.
Yeah. Someone wants to know if it was easy to get, if you were able to just walk in, or if it was difficult.
Yeah,
Got you.
mine was pretty easy.
Continue. But how you getting me the address? You're gonna do it.
Oh, Delilah, we hear your voice. But no, mine was pretty easy. So I was trying to figure out how to make an appointment on CVS.com because it pretty much says that everything's booked up. So my brother had to go to the CVS and call them. And I'm sorry, he called them, but he went to the CVS and asked them like to their face, like, did you have any appointments? And I think he had to do it on the app or something. So I ended up going to the app and I got the appointment on CVS.com. So that's how I ended up doing it. But I got it like the night before I went in. And there's some here in New York that are like, oh, you want to come in today? Come in, we'll see you in 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of questions, but a lot of the same types of questions in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much again, Cameras, for joining us. And again, best of luck on all your future projects. I hear you're multi-talented writer, actor, singer, and whatnot. I'm definitely looking forward to see what you do in the future. Film, TV, sing, I don't know, songs. Thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully this will sort of encourage people that are on the fence about the vaccine to sort of, make up their minds. Thank you so much. From the medical community, we appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. I hope everyone watching this, I hope you all get vaccinated if you haven't already. I hope you tell your friends to get vaccinated, tell your family to get vaccinated. We should all do it if we're trying to get this world back to normal again. So, yeah. Thanks for having me, y'all. Much love.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you guys, if there are any questions for the doctors, any burning questions for doctors, I'm here. I'm joined by other residents, from pediatric residents from Elmhurst Hospital, and we're more than happy to talk about the vaccine and any questions you might have. Just drop them on the chat. And then Kellyanne, I guess you can.
Oh yes, there are lots of questions.
That's why we're here.
Okay, so I'm seeing a question that says, if we're all vaccinated, do we have to wear masks in public?
So that's the cool thing about the vaccine. And just recently, like I think a couple weeks ago, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, just sort of published their new guidelines that if you're fully vaccinated, you actually don't have to wear masks anymore, at least outdoors. Indoors, really, it depends on how comfortable you are, right? So some people might not feel comfortable, even though they're vaccinated, might not feel comfortable yet to go out without a mask. I'm one of those people, but sort of in the sense that I got so used to wearing a mask, but technically you can safely go outdoors to the park, to wherever, without a mask if you're fully vaccinated. So I think that's a sort of point for the vaccine, not having to wear a mask anymore. So yeah.
Okay. And someone else is asking if they're asking which vaccine's the safest.
So technically the ones we hear about the most, well, I guess it's the Pfizer and the Moderna. All of them are safe, all of them are effective. Right now, the only one that's approved for teenagers ages 12 and above is actually just the Pfizer vaccine. That's the only one we're giving to kiddos. The Moderna, I know they're at the final stages in their trials and stuff, and they're gonna submit their evidence by late June, early July, I believe. So hopefully we can get Moderna on board too, but so far the Pfizer is the safest one. Well, I shouldn't say safest one, the only one approved for adolescents and teenagers up until now. Hopefully later on we will have more options for them, but technically all of them are effective and all of them are pretty safe.
Okay. Then we have another question. People are asking about how effective they are, the vaccines.
Sure, that's a very good question. So all the studies they did in millions of people basically show that at least the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine give around 95% of protection against COVID and against the COVID virus, which is a pretty good number. And the main benefit of the vaccine is that it mostly prevents severe illness in people. You may get COVID, but you're not gonna get a very severe disease from it because you're vaccinated. So that's the main objective of the vaccine. And actually, the COVID prevalence has decreased so much because of vaccination, but we're still seeing some patients being hospitalized because of COVID. And what we're seeing from recent data is that the ones that have very severe disease, most of them are actually unvaccinated. So that's a thing to keep in mind.
Hi, this is Dr. Pintiliano from Elmhurst. I just want to answer that in the trials in adolescents, the vaccine was 100% effective with preventing disease in the initial trials that Pfizer did. And also, it is 100% effective in preventing hospitalizations from COVID.
Thank you, Dr. P.
Someone else is asking if we will have to get the vaccine every year.
Anyone want to tackle that question from the residents that are here? I can answer it. It's totally fine. That is a hard thing to say at this point. It's a little bit too early to see how long the protective effects of the vaccine are lasting, right? We need a little bit more time to research that. With that said, it shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. You will definitely be protected. And then later on, we can sort of see if we're gonna need booster shots. It's something that it's being researched, and it's an ongoing research. That's what I mean.
Yeah, hi, it's Dr. Siegel from Elmhurst as well. So, you know, since this pandemic, since COVID-19 is new for us, certainly the researchers are following blood levels of antibodies after the vaccine, and they'll be, you know, following it out every couple of months to see when, you know, like right after the vaccine, we know that 2 weeks afterwards, after your second dose, certainly of Pfizer, then you're, you know, considered immune to COVID-19. And so your blood is at a certain level of antibody, and then the researchers will be following, you know, the blood work over time to see in general when people's blood levels of antibody drops. And then there may be, you know, following also clinical course, if people are getting reinfected, that will tell the researchers, well, yes, we need a booster, or we can, you know, perhaps we won't need it every year, perhaps we'll need it every 2 years. But there are certainly, you know, doctors and scientists who are following the pandemic, and just stay in tune, stay in touch, and we'll be able to give you the information ongoing.
And some people are asking where to get vaccinated and where they can walk in, or do they need an appointment?
Actually, at Elmhurst Hospital right now, you don't need an appointment. You can just show up, walk in, and you can get your shot. We're giving the Pfizer vaccine. And I know a lot of places, the vaccine these days is readily available for everyone. You can also double check with your pediatrician or your primary care doctor, just to see the nearest place to you. But I believe the vaccine is really available, and most places are taking walk-in appointments these days, which is great. We're lucky to be able to do that. Other countries are not as lucky. So that's something to keep in mind too.
You know,
We're having an event at our hospital this weekend on Saturday. So, and all the adolescents can come down and get vaccinated at Elmhurst. It's a nice event that we're holding for the adolescents. I think that you all have the flyer for it.
So Dr. P, right after that, they can go and wait on the line and get vaccinated. That's what I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Wonderful, wonderful. So also, you know, if you're a patient at the adolescent clinic and you come to see us during the day, we can certainly, you know, connect you right after we're done seeing you to take you over to the, you know, I believe it's still the O building, as an Oscar, where there's a line, but I don't believe the lines are very long at this time. I think they're moving, and you're registered right away and you're taken in, and, you know, the shot is administered. Or we're just telling patients, you know, just go to the O building, wait on the line. I believe it's 7 a.m. to about 5 or 7 p.m. every day, where you can, you know, wait on the line. I also encourage families to go together. I've had a lot of kids who've gone with their, you know, with their moms, with their dads, with their siblings, and gotten immunized together. So make it a family event.
Hi, this is Dr. Ravello from Elmhurst Pediatrics as well. So we will be more than happy to have you at Elmhurst. I think we have plenty of shots that we can give to adolescents and their families. But I also want to add that around the city, I have noticed that there are multiple like vaccination buses. So you can approach those places too. And then I have noticed as well that around the like train stations or like subway stations that are very popular, there are other setups and locations where you can go and request your vaccine.
We have another question, and it is, what has been the most common side effect that you've seen?
So definitely the most common side effect we've seen is the ones that are expected out of just any vaccine really. It could be a little soreness on your arm. It could be a little bit of swelling on your arm, and which can happen with any vaccine. The next day, you can have a little chills. You can get a mild fever, just not feeling very well. And this is sort of expected. This just means that your body is creating the defenses that we want from the vaccine, right? This is expected. It's natural. It's your body reacting to the vaccine and creating those good antibodies that are going to protect us from COVID. And they're usually very mild, and they go away by the second or third day, and people usually feel much better.
Someone else is asking when people younger than age 12 will be able to get vaccinated. Do we know yet?
I answered that question on the chat. It's currently under trials in under 12 years old. So it won't be, next month, but it may be later this year, depending on the results of the trial.
Also, anyone who's here, if you look in the chat, there's a form you can fill out. So if you're going to the vaccine clinic on Saturday, or if you take a family member or a friend with you, if you fill out that form and print it out and take it to the clinic with you, you'll receive a $25 gift card from Target. Fun perk to getting vaccinated. Someone is asking, does getting the vaccine mean that we have antibodies? And they're asking what that means and how the vaccine works.
So definitely, once you get the vaccine, the goal of the vaccine is for your body to create these antibodies. And the way this works, the vaccine is basically made of sort of parts of the COVID virus. It's called the messenger RNA. It's this very, very tiny, small particle. It's inactive. It won't cause disease. Okay, so the idea is to introduce this via the vaccine, introduce this to the body, and the body will respond to this sort of protein from the virus and create the antibodies specific to the COVID virus. Once this happens, usually whatever particles from the vaccine in 2-3 days, they usually are eliminated, and what stays are the antibodies that are going to protect you from COVID and prevent severe illnesses and whatnot.
Someone else is asking, how can we urge our friends and encourage our friends and family to get vaccinated if they don't want to get vaccinated?
That is definitely a tough situation to be in. I would say first and foremost, modeling. Start getting vaccinated yourself and show everyone that it's safe and that it's good. I would say encourage people to sort of get informed about the benefits of the vaccine. It's very easy and it's very simple to show people actual data on what's happening. I mean, New York City it reopened a couple days ago fully because of vaccinations. So it doesn't get more obvious than that the vaccines work and that everyone at some point should get vaccinated whenever they can and their whole family. It's definitely a tough position to be in. It may take a little bit of time and convincing and a little bit of patience as well. But I'm a firm believer that if you keep at it, you get to convince people and finally get the shot, because at the end of the day, they're gonna be in the minority.
I can tell you that here at the adolescent clinic, you know, when the vaccine first became available for teenagers 12 and above, well, I should say right before then, when it was 16 and above, we had a little bit of a lull where patients were saying, I still want to think about it. I'm not sure. I'm not going to do it yet. And as soon as the authorities came out, the CDC, et cetera, and said, you know, 12 and above, we started to see a big uptick in kids going with their families, or, you know, the parents had gotten immunized first. And the message was out there loud and clear that, you know, vaccine was good, vaccine was important. And I have to say that, you know, this week I have so many more of my kids have told me they've already completed their vaccine and they're proud of it. Or they're in the midst of getting it, or they have an appointment, you know, in a few days. So it's very exciting, very uplifting. And I think it's, they're really being the role models for, you know, the rest of the teens out there who are still thinking about it or waiting to get their vaccines.
We have another question, and it is, if members of our family already had COVID, do they need a vaccine? Or anyone in general? If you've had COVID, do you need a vaccine?
So even if you've had COVID in the past, we do recommend getting vaccinated anyways. The antibodies created from, let's say, a natural COVID infection are not as affected or as effective or the same as the ones that created by the vaccines. And also, COVID itself, it has different variants. We've been hearing about the Delta variant, the variant that's predominant that came from India and whatnot, and other countries. And the vaccine actually works against all these variants and possible variants. So I would say yes, definitely. Even if you had COVID infection in the past, you should definitely still get vaccinated.
Yeah, I will add to that answer that we don't know for how long the antibodies are gonna last. So that's another reason why we're encouraging everyone to get vaccinated, because for example, just to give you like a quick example for flu, we usually vaccinate everyone every year. So we don't know how it's going to be with COVID, but it might be the same process. So it's still something that we are studying, but that's the reason, one of the other reasons why we encourage everyone to get vaccinated, even if you had COVID.
Yeah, actually, good point, Dr. Ravello. So, you know, I talked before about, you know, your antibodies kind of waning, like going down. But at this, you brought out a great point. There could be variants. I mean, there are variants already that we know about. And again, the the scientists, the researchers, they're following this pandemic very closely. And so it may be that the virus may change a little bit, that every year there could be a little different variant. That's why the real reason why every year we get a flu shot, because there's like a prediction. They do, every year a different mix of like a variant of the flu virus. And so again, this is, ongoing. It's a developing process, and we're staying up to date on on what's happening, and as soon as we know, we'll let you know. Another comment I have to make about, if you've had the COVID, should you get immunized? Initially, we said, let's wait 3 months after, you had the virus to get immunized. And then the reports came out, the experts said, well, it's okay to wait 2 weeks. I usually tell patients, perhaps 2 weeks is a little too soon to get the, vaccine, but definitely within a month, 6 weeks, you can definitely get the vaccine, even if you've been COVID positive.
Someone is asking, what happens if you delay getting your second dose?
So perhaps one of my colleagues knows, certainly it's better to get it than not get the second dose. I think, the way the immune system works is sometimes it has to see it has to be stimulated again to make antibody within a period of time. So I don't know, if there's a reason why they've decided to wait X amount of time. Actually, that time has gotten smaller. When Pfizer first came out, you waited 3 weeks, and now I believe it's 2 to 3 weeks. So I would just say, if you're late, just get the second dose, and eventually if you have to get a booster, you get a booster, but definitely go and get the shot on schedule.
Okay. Someone else is asking, should we send our child to school in person?
I am a firm believer that yes, kids should be going back to school as soon as possible and as safely as possible. The way we do this is by getting as much people vaccinated as possible. Again, like Dr. Pinciana was mentioning before, we still cannot vaccinate people under the age of 12, but if we vaccinate everyone else that can actually get vaccinated up until now, we can also protect them, right? Not only the benefits of going to school, this past year, we've seen so much isolation and kids not being kids. So definitely, it's an amazing idea, and I'm glad that sort of the next school year, everyone will have to go back to school because they need to see people. We need to see people. They need to play. They need to play sports. They need to have social interactions to sort of develop appropriately. And this cannot happen, unfortunately, at home. And it is safe. It is safe to send the kids to school, especially these days. There was this question last year would have been a little bit more harder to answer, but today I can be sure that yes, now that we're all vaccinated and the vaccine works, it is safe for kids to go to school. And definitely, I mean, I've from my patients that I see in the clinic, at least most of them are excited to go back to school and see their friends and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, the more people that have the vaccine and are protected from getting the virus, the less chance the virus will have to circulate. So that's a way to keep down the amount of virus that's in the community if people are not susceptible to the virus. So go out and get vaccinated, and then, you know, you'll be able to, you know, feel more comfortable going out in public and not worrying so much about, you know, am I going to get sick? And being able to go to school and being able to shop and be with friends and, you know, go to social gatherings. We know that, you know, this past year has been very difficult for our patients, and the patients have really, you know, developed a lot of sadness. Some people are depressed, very anxious, and, you know, we just want to get back to normal so that everyone can enjoy their lives, enjoy being a child and adolescent, and have a great time.
Yeah, I also would like to validate the parents' feelings. Um, we know how you have been protecting your kids over the last year, and we understand that now they're gonna go to school and they're gonna be exposed. So I think it is a valid reason that you are scared, but also the safest thing that you can do to protect them is to vaccinate them, because, and I think after it's done, you're gonna have that feeling of reassurance, and you're gonna be more that feeling of safeness, and your kids are probably gonna feel the same way.
We have a question. The question is, do vaccines protect from all variants of COVID?
Like I was mentioning before, yes, there are different variants for COVID. There's the new Delta variant that everyone's talking about these days, and it's been shown that the vaccine actually does protect against these different variants, and decreases the severity of illness and the chances of hospitalization, etc. So it's again, it is a good idea to get vaccinated. We don't know how many variants of COVID there are. That's hard to say. So literally your best shot is getting the vaccine at this point. Yeah.
There are several questions coming in about things on social media about the vaccines, myths, and should we be afraid of the things that are being said?
Like there's a lot of misinformation online, on forums, from anti-vaxxer groups, not only with the COVID vaccine, just with vaccines in general. This has been going on for years. Us as pediatricians, we deal with this a lot. Definitely do not be afraid of this. It's easy to do your own research. The information is readily available. The CDC is the sort of the most respected in this sense. I would, if you have doubts or anything like that, I would check with your doctor or do your own research online. Again, there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people just spreading lies. They're scared too, and it makes sense. It's a difficult topic. What I would say is just, if you think something sounds a little fishy, just take it with a grain of salt. and ask your doctor and have a conversation. And I think I speak for all pediatrician doctors that we're more than happy to speak at length about not only the COVID vaccine, about anything that any misinformation that might be online about anything and everything. So yeah.
As medical professionals, we refer to certain guiding agencies, one being the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. We, look at data from them, and certainly the New York State Department of Health, the New York City Department of Health. As medical professionals, we do not look on, Facebook, on Instagram, on, social media to see, what people are saying. We like to see research and facts and data. And so, we among us are always talking about, what certainly we hold meetings, we are on webinars, hearing the latest, most up-to-date information. So, we feel that we're, then transferring that information to our patients. So I hope you'll trust us, because we trust the medical community, and then we trust each other. And I hope you'll trust us as your providers as well. We won't steer you wrong. And I think you also have to look at, us as role models, and, other high profile figures like the gentleman that was on earlier, to really convey the information. And I can't say 100%, but I think most of us, in the medical community, or at least your clinicians, your physicians, nurse practitioners, we've been immunized and we're okay. So we offer, our guidance, and we hope that you trust us.
And I think it's also a good habit, if you come across this kind of information, always question that. Like, if someone is telling you, okay, I heard this, so be inquisitive and ask, like, where did you hear that from? And then if they answer you, oh, I saw it on Facebook, I saw it on a WhatsApp group, because that has become a thing now. So always question that, and then go to the source, go to sources that have some kind of research, some kind of like valid information that has been studied. And then you can spread those news. And also, if you are not sure where to go to look for that information, you can ask your doctors. We are more than happy to answer your questions. If you have a lot of questions, bring a list and we will be happy to answer those questions.
Yeah, actually, the Center for Disease Control, CDC, has a fantastic website. I mean, I know all of you are really computer savvy, and they have patient information on there, and you could actually open it up yourself and read. That information is open to everyone, and certainly to everyone that's online today. And I urge you to do that, to get the correct information from the sources.
I'm answering some of the questions in the chat, in the Q&A, and a couple of things came up that I just want to clarify to the group. One, you're not getting a chip injected to you when the vaccine is given. And two, the vaccine does not affect fertility at all. This is a rumor started by someone that was non-medical, that said that the spike protein interfered with the placental protein, and it's just not true. It's just a false fact. So I just want to be clear that the vaccine does not affect your fertility, and you will not be having a chip injected into you.
Okay, I think we have gotten through most of the questions. So now I believe Jonna has an announcement.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We are going to start discussing tonight's event giveaways. And I do want to first announce that the first 15 people who signed up and did attend, to please everyone check your emails to see who did receive the Uber Eats gift card.
So many fun things happening. Okay, and now for the giveaways, which will only go to people who are still here. All right, so for the Apple AirPods giveaway, let me move the screen. All right, so Anne, I will be sending you a message. You are the person who has won the Apple AirPods. Okay, and then we also have concert. And then we also have the Governor's Ball concert tickets. So this is really exciting. And Jason, who is in the chat and has been asking questions, actually his name came up for that. So that's for the Governor's Ball, 2 tickets. And from what I understand, from all the questions that were answered, it'll be okay to go to live events as long as you're vaccinated. And now for the, this is kind of the bonus giveaway, really fun giveaway. So one person who fills out the form, we'd mentioned the $25 Target gift cards earlier. So if you fill out that form, one person who fills out that form, in addition to if you take a friend or family member to the clinic on Saturday, and you can get the $25 gift card. In addition to that, one person who fills out that form will actually get to meet Miss Universe 2020. So yeah, so there'll be a meet and greet with Miss Universe 2020 on June 23rd at Elmhurst. So you will be notified through email.
Right, and as we've mentioned throughout tonight's event, if you do plan to show up to our in-person teen vaccination drive this Saturday, June 19th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and get vaccinated, or bring someone, a friend or a family member to get vaccinated, please fill out the Google form that I will link again below in the chat to get a free $25 Target gift card. Please print out the form and bring it with you. And one gift card will be distributed per individual or family attending the event after someone gets their vaccine.
Yay. All right, so we hope to hear back about the Governor's Ball and how the AirPods are and meeting Miss Universe. Very exciting. Someone's asking a question, and if you did get the Uber Eats gift card, it should be in your email. You'll have an email. Jonna sent those out during the program. And if you have any more questions, we'll drop our emails in the chat too, so you can email us.
And I also see a question about the Google form. It should also automatically send you an email with your response after completing the Google form.
And I believe that's a wrap, unless anyone has anything else to say. We have another video we would like to share, and then that'll conclude the program.
Yay.
Thank you everyone for coming. This was great. So many people were here.
Thank you so much, everyone. Was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry I was late. The computers, I'm still in the clinic and they were updating and I finally got on. So, yeah.